Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about drugstore makeup items. So I picked up a few things from the drugstore the other day. Just wanted to play around a little bit, see what I thought about these. Foundation I've never tried before, although it's out for quite a few years. An eyeshadow palette by Maybelline that I've spoke about before. I don't think I've done any wear test or I've tried it on. Maybe I've talked about it that I've had it on, but not that I actually showed you how I used it. And just a couple of other items. There's a bronzer from Physicians Formula. There's a Milani blush, which is a pretty popular blush. I thought I would use this Maybelline Color Tattoo in Front Runner, which is a cream eyeshadow. So I'm going back and forth. I don't know if I want to just do cream. Maybe I'll use some of the palette and maybe I'll just put the cream on my eyelid or something. That's kind of what I'm working with. And so, just so you know, my skin is already prepped. I have on my moisturizer, my sunscreen, everything that I would typically do before I apply my makeup. So let's get started. I'm going to start with my eyes. That's just the way I'm comfortable with, so that's the way I'm going to start. And for starters, I like to try and start with my eyebrows and work my way down. And I'm going to be using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Taupe. Very finely tipped, or a fine tip, shall I say. See that? On the other side, it does have a spoolie. So I'm going to first start off with just brushing them out. And I think I've spoke about this many a times. I do not have perfect technique when it comes to doing my eyebrows. I just follow along with, you know, where I think they need to be filled, and for the most part it comes out okay. And of course, when you're doing your eyebrows, you don't want to bring your tail, this piece here, and bring it down. You do want to work it. Let me just, I don't know if you saw in there how it was more downturned, so I just wanted to lift it a little bit. And I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so the brows are done. I don't know that you can see a real big difference, but I can see it here, and they're fine enough. And after I put everything on, sometimes I'll go in and I'll touch up a little bit where I feel like they're a little bit more sparse, and I'll go in at that point with a clear brow gel. So I have done the technique where you take just a clear brow gel and run it through before you fill in, and then you fill in once the brow gel is not dry, a little bit closer to dry than it is moist, and then I'll fill it in, and they really stay in place. I do always use a brow gel all the time anyway, but I just flip the way in which I do it. So alright, now that my eyebrows are done, I'm going to go in and use the NYX Eye Base in Skin Tone. I've shown this before, and I'll just go ahead and dab some on my eyelids. You know, an eye base really does help to even out your eyelid where you generally would have like the red and the blue greenish veins running through, and maybe you can even see the difference. If you're lucky enough that you don't have those veins running through that are pretty prominent like I do, the one thing that the eyeshadow base does help with is to allow your eyeshadow not to crease. And especially in these summer months, I think creasing can be an issue. So just a little thought there to throw out to you, that you may need some help if you find that your eyeshadow doesn't stay on and it creases. You may want to try using an eyeshadow base. Next, I'm gonna go in with the eyeshadow palette from Maybelline, and this is the Blush Nudes one, like I showed earlier. And I'm gonna work with these 4 eyeshadows. So the first one, I'm just gonna go in, tap into the lightest shade, and I'll just tap it on under my eyebrows. So I'm going to go in with the lightest shade in that quadrant and just place it underneath my eyebrow. Not a lot, just a little bit to give some lift to my eyes, and the way the natural light will hit it, it will reflect off and just pop my eyes a little bit. So you don't want too much, you just want a little bit. And I think I am going to go in with the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Front Runner, and it is a cream eyeshadow, and I think I'm just going to take it on my finger and just run it across my eyelid. It's a nice light, not quite champagne, but it does have a little hint of a champagne-y tone to it. I'll do the same on the other side. And because I have hooded eyes, I have a tendency to, aside from working with cream shadows, if I was just working with a regular eyeshadow palette, a powdered eyeshadows, as you know, I would take a transition color and go right in here between my crease and the socket, like the bone, and just put a transition shade here and do go a little above. So when I always try and keep my eyes open, because if I put the transition shade here with my eyes closed, I open it, you won't see it. So I always try and go above that area. So I'm just going to use the brush right here just to kind of blend in the eyeshadow. And again, there's nothing on this brush, and all I did was just put on I just applied the cream shadow from Maybelline. It doesn't offer much, but it gives some coverage, and I think I might go in now with a little bit of a deeper shade from the Blush Nudes palette. Maybe I'll work with these 2 here. One of them is a little bit more shimmered, the other is more matte, and I think I'll just tap it into the outer corner. Specifically, if you have hooded eyes, downturned eyes, you really don't want to take your dark shadows closer in, into the inner rim. So the inner corner, not the inner rim, the inner corner, you want to keep it concentrated on the outside of your eye. And I'll just take a brush with no eyeshadow on it and just run it through and blend it as best I can. And of course I want to keep it within the line from the outer edge, my last lash, and keep it upward. I'll do the same on the other side. As I'm blending this in, tell me what you guys have been up to. Do you have any travel plans for the summer? Are you going anywhere? I don't have any concrete plans to do anything, but I'd like to think that something will come up. But at the moment I don't have anything going on. But tell me what your plans are, what you're excited about with the mask restrictions being changed and, modified, shall we say, and what you're looking forward to. For me, I just want the warm weather to come and see a smile on people's faces, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Okay, so there you have that. I'll clean it up off camera when I come back and show you as the look comes together. I think I'll just take a little of that and place it in the center. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. I'll clean it up when I'm done with my entire face. So next we're going to go in with our foundation, and today we're going to test out the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup. I thought luminous, that could be really good for summer. Gives you that glowy look. It does come in, I thought, like 8 shades. They have a warm, cool, neutral shadow range. For me, I picked up the W4, which is natural beige. Might be a little too dark, but I also picked it up in the W3, which is a nude beige. So interestingly enough, I went to CVS and picked up, I think it was a W4, and it came out with tax and everything to $16, and I was like, So I had to go into Walmart, and I had a feeling it was going to be considerably cheaper, and it was like $10 in Walmart. So my recommendation when buying drugstore makeup is to first start with your Walmart, your Target, and then work your way into like your Rite Aid, Walgreens, CVS's, and those types. I feel as if the Walmart, I don't know, I've always felt that they had the best prices around. Granted, there were places where you can get things on sale and, you know, it's great, but just on the everyday, to just walk into any of those stores not knowing what the sale is, Walmart's and your Target are going to be where the prices are cheaper. So anyway, I guess I'll start with the W3, the nude beige, and I'm just going to pump some in my hand like so. It does have a little bit of a watery consistency. This does have vitamin C and E, which clearly we know what the benefits of those are. You know, they'll definitely help even out your skin tone. So I'm just going to, maybe I'll do one side with the brush and the other side with my Real Techniques sponge and see which one works better. So again, I just have my IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe complexion. So let's just tap this in, and of course, you know, every time I apply foundation, I always add the caveat that, you know, you can't test the makeup in the store, so I try my best. And being that I've been self-tanning, it's a little harder to get a shade match, especially without being able to test it. So it seems to be blending really nicely. It does claim to do like a light to medium coverage. You can see in here I will go back in and apply some more because I can see the redness coming through, and I don't like that. But I'm not going to cake on too much of it because I just want it to be, it's supposed to be like a sheer light to medium coverage, so it's not a heavy foundation, but I do want to add a little bit more on there. So I don't know if you can see, but it does have some luminosity to it there. Looks good. That was just about a pump that I used. I'm going to take another pump and apply it on the other side. Yes, I do the connect the dots method. and now I'm just going to tap it in using the Real Techniques blender, or sponge rather. To me, it seems as though the sponge is really absorbing a lot of product, and you can see the difference. So here's the brush side, here's the sponge side. It definitely absorbed a lot of the product into the sponge. So my recommendation would be to use your brush and then go in with your wet beauty blender or, you know, sponge after. I'm just going to go back to using the brush so I can get a more even coverage. So I have a window in front, so the natural light is coming right at my face, so you can tell me what your thoughts are. I think it looks really pretty good. I like it definitely better applied with the brush. It definitely absorbed more product with the sponge, directly using the sponge, as opposed to the brush where it just distributed it evenly. It didn't absorb into the brush like it did with the sponge. So that would be my recommendation on how to use it. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. It looks really nice. I'm happy with it. So I am not going to set this with any powder, because for me, setting with a powder always ends up with more of a cakey look. So I'm just going to go about my day the way I am. I'll probably just add a setting spray to it. The one thing I will say is I don't have a drugstore setting spray, so either I'll use the Urban Decay or the Charlotte Tilbury if I decide to, and I'll let you know if I do it or not. Next, I'm going to go in with the Physicians Formula. I can't speak today. I don't know why. Well, maybe because I haven't had my coffee yet. Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in, this is, I don't know what the shade is. Deep Bronzer, Maroon Butter Bronzer. I don't know if that's the shade or the name of it, but just going to take a fluffy brush and swirl my brush around in there. Certainly tap off, because I do think I have a lot of product here. And then, whoops, I guess it would help if I let you see where I was placing it all. In bronzer, you want generally where the sun naturally would hit your face. And so I just went along the forehead. I remember from one of my last videos, which I'll link I'll put it up in the eye, where I've been trying to focus on, especially on the contour, but this applies to bronze, in order to give more of a facelift for the more mature audience that's watching. You know, you want to go and start from up here. I tell people that, you know, the amount of product that you apply, you know, when you first dip into your brush, you're going to have the heaviest impact wherever you place your brush. So you don't want to really start at the bottom. So generally you should start here at the top and blend it out. And then I'll just bring it down my neck. Yeah, I think that looks nice. I'm going to go in with the Milani Rose Powder Blush in Tea Rose, and this is what it looks like. It's really pretty. So I'm just going to swirl my brush around. I'll tap off the excess. I'm just going to keep it on the higher points of my cheek without going into my cheekbone. Oh, that's pretty. Really nice, soft pink. One thing I don't have here from the drugstore is the highlighter, which I think I'm okay with. I think I'm going to allow that just to be because of this foundation. I just want to see if it gives a luminous look in the areas where I would place that generally. So I'm just going to take a little fluffy brush here. This is from e.l.f. It's the Total Face brush. And I just want to blend it in with the bronzer so there aren't any harsh lines. So the foundation seems to be looking good with the bronzer and the blush. The one addition I wanted to add about the foundation is that it claims to have a wear time of up to 8 hours, which I'm not really, I don't know that I love that. I think a 10-hour wear time is what we would like to see. I think that's more realistic. So anyway, this is what I have so far. I'm gonna go put my lashes on, because you know I won't do that online or on camera. And then I'll come back and I'll show you how it all looks and how it came together. Okay, I'll be back. All right, everyone, I'm back. I did my hair, put my lashes on, put some lipstick on. The lashes are Ardell Demi Wispies. I forgot the number, but they're the Demi Wispies. So here's what the eyeshadow looks like. I actually like the cream, the Maybelline cream eyeshadow. I probably would need to work on it a little bit. I do feel like it's creasing a little bit, but I like the texture and the feel. I love the color. So I'll work with that and I'll report back to you. Maybe I'll use this for the rest of the week, and maybe in my next video I can give you updates on that. As far as my lipstick, I didn't have a lip liner in Drugstore, so I didn't use a lip liner. The lipstick I just put on is from Milani, and it is the Pretty Natural, and I'll show you. That's what it looks like. I was going to top it with this nude cream, but I think I'm just going to leave it, being that my eyes are a little bit more subtle. The pop of color on my lips, I think, is how I like to wear it. You know, if I'm wearing a bolder lip, I'll go lighter on the eyes, and the reverse. More of a smoky eyes, then I go more neutral on my lips. Hi everyone, so we're about 6 hours in from when I first applied and started filming. I just wanted to come on and show you how it's worn so far. You can see around my nose area, it has worn off, which is typical of most foundations, and around my chin. I do want to say that I was in and out of stores today, so I did have my mask on and off. Just want to put that out there. But it does have some luminosity, some glow showing on the higher points. I did not apply any highlighter. This is just me putting it on. And by the way, I did not set it with a setting spray, so there's that. And the one other comment I wanted to make, this foundation has been sort of claimed to be a dupe for the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation, which retails for about $64, whereas this was $10, $11. So if any of you have used the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, maybe you want to test this out just to see if it really is a dupe. And as far as my eyeshadow, it's held up pretty well. That cream eyeshadow from Maybelline I really like. It does have a brightening effect for my eyes, and I just kept, as you know, the darker shade on the outside. And so far I'm really happy with it. The blush is really nice, by the way. That's held up, has a nice rosy shade, and it shows up really nice. It hasn't faded, which I love. I think I probably could have gone a little bit deeper on the bronzer and probably a little bit deeper on the foundation. So I do have the next shade up in the foundation. I might try that and see if it gives me a little bit, especially as I continue to get darker with the self-tanning and such. So that ends the drugstore makeup get ready with me, although I didn't really talk a whole lot about anything other than what I was really applying. I'd like to do more like sit down get ready with me's, where I'm actually trying to interact and telling you about my day and or my week, what I have coming up, that type of thing. But it's a work in progress. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below what drugstore products are your favorite, what's your go-tos, something you'd like to see me do in the future, any foundations, eyeshadows out there, whether it's drugstore or high-end, that you'd like to see me review. Please hit the bell notification so you're notified when I upload. Share it with someone you think may like. And until the next time, see you soon. Hope you all have a great day or evening. Bye.